Hey, what's up, friend? Are you interested in lack of skill? Yeah. Or maybe some suck. I'm just a new guy for the love of game. Wait, don't go, I know it's bad. Times have changed, but not by mad. Don't you know that games are my thing? Yeah, I know it's getting real late. Come on, look at me. I even do storytelling. Also podcasts on great game subjects. Okay, yeah, I'm not a Markiplier or a PewDiePie. But hey, that's what makes me so unique, right? 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 Hello! Welcome everybody! It's the NIKO! This is the NIKO Show! What's up? Welcome, welcome, hello, 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 hello. Oh man, I hope you guys are doing well. Welcome to episode 86 of the NIKO Show. And boy, I have a lot to say today. I know I have a lot to say already in terms of just the entirety of this channel. And oh man, this is just a sweaty day today, man. So welcome, guys. We've got so much to talk about. That's right. This episode is all about, my mic's over here, it's all about the E3 Massacre that took place about a week ago. And yeah, it was pretty, you know, I'm just going to be honest with you. I did not like it at all. There was about 10% of it that was worth salvaging. That's right, 10%. I kid you not. It was pretty bad. Pretty bad. Now, I know this is all subjective conjecture, or whatever you want to call it. Everything is just my humble opinion right now, which is fine. And it's going to be like that the entire episode. And I'm not even, before we get introductions out of the way, I'm just going to let you guys know that I am not even doing like what I'm playing for games, like our usual introduction stuff, or, I don't know, setting up for the articles is like, hey, I talk about what's going on with me in RL, and then I talk about what's going on, what games I'm playing these days. I'm not even doing that, because I feel like there's going to be a lot to talk about with the E3 show that happened about a week ago, or a week and a half ago, depending on when you chimed in, or maybe half a week ago for you guys, whatever. E3 is a pretty big deal in the gaming realm, in the universe of all that stuff. So, you know, it's the place to go to see what these developers have cooked up over the years, or maybe the months or something. So, before we get into that, hi, I'm NikoTheLegend. If you like what you see today on the YouTube channel, we're on Twitch as well. We're streaming. We didn't stream this on Twitch last time because I didn't really care to. That's just how it goes. I get in certain moods. And we are here on YouTube, Twitch, Twitter. I got a Discord and all that. So, if any of you find this episode, feel free to subscribe or comment on whatever the hell you want. Just even if it has nothing to do with the video, just comment something. It means a lot. So, welcome again, everybody. So if you're on Twitch or you're on YouTube, check me out on. Let's get both, both streams bumping. But hey, you know what? It's whatever, right? Now, like I said, we're kind of going to be going right into this. I wanted to make this cut and dry as best as possible because E3's got a lot of stuff to dive into. I was thinking about what I wanted to do in terms of how do we wanted the layout to be for this, like the foundation. And I was like, okay, do I want to go through all the games that they announced and then go bit by bit? But I'm like, there's too many unknowns that I saw the conferences, but at the same time, it's like, I don't want to go through every little bit of game. I think that'd get boring and people just, don't want to really go with this. We got to trim the fat here. Let's just say that, and I don't want people to be bored. I mean, I'm already a boring person, but I don't want you to be even more boring. That's the thing. That's the real ticket here. So with that said, like I said, there was a lot of conferences, a little bit more than usual, and there were some conferences. Like I'm going to give you my opinions on these conferences, of course, and hopefully I don't strike a nerve. If I do, whatever, tough shit, right? But there were some people, some companies that just shouldn't have done a conference to begin with. It doesn't make any fucking sense at all why they even did one. And also, I'm just gonna let you guys know this is also on Spotify. I forgot to mention that in the platforms. So all these episodes they go up on Spotify. So if you don't want the visual aid, you just want to hear Niko, then that's perfectly fine, right? Fair enough, Slippy. Fair enough. So, yeah, and I'm not gonna go too hardcore. I was, on this. I'm just going with like I said, the humble opinion, and yeah, this is gonna be a episode where we can actually talk to the chats and stuff. If I get anybody in the chats, I got both windows popped up. Sometimes when I'm doing these episodes, I don't want to read the chat because there's articles to get through and I get distracted. I got to keep it focused and just get the content out there. But this episode is going to be talking all about that. And when you see the visual aid, when we go through let's just say I'm going through highlights of E3, like the so-called big announcements, that's when we can kind of have a discussion. I'm going to be moving along here, but there was a lot. This article is pretty big, so we're just gonna go down the list here, and feel free to let me know, guys. As the stream's running, on how you felt about E3 and if it was meh or nah or okay or good. Right off the bat, I will tell you it completely sucked. Okay, the only Nintendo had a pretty decent conference. I say it was probably my favorite out of them all. And then Xbox, Microsoft, whatever, had the second best. But the gap in terms of quality and all that with all the other conferences and stuff, it's not that big. A lot of these conferences were either in the F ranking, just horrible. Some, like I said, I just don't even understand why they even did one. It's just a waste of people's fucking time. But there's always this certain narrative, which we'll get to. Talking about these certain political narratives that I can't stand having this shit in the video game world, and of course it's just been a massive big poison with political or social commentary with this crap, and now they gotta bring it to the E3 platform where you just want to take a break from all that garbage outside of gaming and stuff, right? Garbage in terms of politics or your life crap going on, whatever, right? Just any excuse to get away from that. And my phone should be on silent. So I made a failsafe. There is a possibility this stream will mess up. I don't know. It was a little funky earlier. So I am recording this at the same time. So if anybody hears this, this is going to be recording and streaming. Just in case, I'm just streaming to a black void and none of this content ever even goes up. So so far we're doing so good. Okay. So welcome, Oursmet. How are you? Apparently you're a zombie. You're welcome. I didn't force you to play Dark Souls 3. I'll just say that. I just invited you because I'm trying to be a nice guy. And you made that choice. You want a protein bar? I got a protein bar wrapper. You might be able to eat that after being a zombie. There could be some flesh in it. But I appreciate you being here. So, Arsmat says, didn't really care about E3. I didn't see anything covering Monster Hunter Rise on PC. Yeah, nothing about that. We'll actually get to... I'm going to give you a quick rundown on all the conferences that just, you know, I was like, bleh. But there'll be contextual on the big announcements whenever you see the visual aid and stuff. We'll tackle onto that. And then Forza Horizon 5 is literally the same game, but in a different locale. Yeah. Yeah, pretty much. You know, it's like those FIFA games, you know, same soccer game, but different roster, updated rosters, same bullshit over and over. That's why these, you know, like nowadays, I'm just not here for it. For these people, man, these developers are getting real lazy these days. There's only a certain few out there that really matter. You know, I'm not gonna tell you my certain few favorite. It's just based on my likes and interests that you probably don't like. So who cares, right? Now, like I said, once again, if you haven't heard already, this is all the E3. This is called E3 Massacre, and I'm gonna go through these highlights and big announcements and stuff. And we will, like I said, we will talk about the conferences that went along with it. So, are you guys ready? I hope you guys are ready. Because I didn't want to ramble too long because I wanted to get right to it for the most part. So, and we're working with a 2-monitor system for the first time streaming the NIKO show. So I gotta get used to this stuff right here. So if you see any green screen sprinkles on me, that's fine. Who cares? So let's get this party fucking going. I'm actually pretty excited to talk about this in terms of trolling or just positive, negative stuff. It don't matter, folks. It does not matter. Now, like I said, anytime, just comment on how you felt about these announcements. If it piqued your interest, and let's just have some discussions here. You know, we're gonna have some fun. I doubt I'll get through all these games because I might be just bloviating on my speech quite a bit. But you know that the point is, E3 sucked this year. That's my great opinion. Okay, so this source is from IGN.com. I just typed in E3 2021 like highlights or game list to see what came up, and this was like the second article that that IGN did. So let's just read the premise of what these people have said. So, world premieres, long-awaited release dates, and much more. These are the biggest announcements from E3 2021. Like I said, this is all subjective, okay, people? But biggest announcements could be like surprises or comebacks of dead franchises or just games that people have been waiting for a long time. You know, it varies. Like I said, this is all very subjective listing here, okay? So, Elden Ring might not be your biggest announcement on your biggest announcement list, but whatever, right? We're just having fun here. Just having fun. There's no gun to my head, right? Right? So, E3 returned in 2021 with big announcements from Xbox, Bethesda, Nintendo, Ubisoft, Square Enix, and several indie developers. You notice how Ubisoft shouldn't even be listed, but Capcom and Take-Two Interactive are on that list? Yeah, there's a good reason why. It's been a jam-packed show that provided long-awaited updates on the biggest games of 2021 and beyond, including Elden Ring, Starfield, Breath of the Wild 2, and Halo Infinite. So I'm going to stop this guy right there. Elden Ring and Halo Infinite were probably the only things that should have been listing there. Starfield didn't show us really anything, and Breath of the Wild 2 didn't really show us too much either. It was still just a teaser, and waiting after 2 years, I'm like, this is all we get? Yeah. I don't know what's going on with these developers these days, but they are really fucking slacking. All these games listed right here are developers that took their sweet old fucking time releasing these games or giving us transparency. Elden Ring had one trailer, one teaser, boom. 2 years later or whatever, now we see a big trailer which showed a lot, which was great, but just, you know, in the void of nothingness. Starfield, 3 years, 3 years, not seeing anything on that crap, and then all we get is just another teaser trailer. At least Elden Ring showed us gameplay and everything. These guys are trying to... Starfield is supposed to release next November, and this is what they show? Terrible. Breath of the Wild 2, 2 years of not seeing any gameplay or nothing, and all it was like a minute teaser trailer, a minute and a half, and that was it. Didn't really show us too much. Once again, very vague, and these are games that are all coming out next year or this year. Halo Infinite, they were supposed to show like a redone campaign redone single-player campaign gameplay from the disaster last year. Didn't really see any gameplay for single-player. They showed pretty much multiplayer and some single-player cutscenes. Yay! So anyway, with the showcases over, we rounded up the biggest of the big announcements from E3 2021, including new game reveals, long-awaited release date announcements, and much more. Continue scrolling or click blah blah blah. Okay, so now we got that out of the way. GSC, an indie company. Well, they're going with just the conference names, ours, Matt, not the actual company names. I think. Yeah, anyway. So, our first and foremost starts off with a pretty good bang. I was actually pretty amped up from this trailer. I think the trailer did a good job. And, oh, hold on a second. My cursor is showing. That's not good. It's not supposed to. I have capture cursor off, so... Okay, whatever. If you see the cursor, big deal. It's my visual clicker. It's my visual aid. It's helping me. Meow, 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 meow. See, I'm good at this. I'm good at my so-called not job. So, it starts off with Elden Ring. Elden Ring from Software. From, you got the great developer Miyazaki. I think he's a great developer, just despite all the Bandai Namco cut content meddling crap. I think he's a great guy, great references, great inspirations, especially from Berserk. Can't go wrong with that. You really can't. And then we got George R.R. Martin working on the story and the world building or whatever, right? He's mainly working on the world building and the locales and stuff like that. So interesting collaboration, right? And so up to this, from before, like I said, we only saw a teaser trailer and then nothing after that. And then finally, big announcement, big reveal trailer showing us the Elden Ring. And I was pretty ecstatic about it. It looked great. They showed enough to keep me satisfied, okay? So that's the big thing. After 2 years of not seeing anything for a game, especially when this game is releasing next January, you're getting pretty close. You need a real people in. So this is a good time to show that gameplay, the world, and everything that ties it together to give us amp. Show us the actual gameplay. Make it like, hey, this game is actually perhaps close to being done. Still quite a ways, 7 months out. A lot can happen in 7 months. A lot of polishing, a lot of last second changes, especially Bandai Namco likes to really, from Software, really like to cut things out at the last few months and stuff. So, anything's possible here, folks, that we're going to see. I don't know why is that popping up? Okay. It doesn't make any sense. Okay, like I said, 2-monitor system, working it for the first time. Good times. So, and I've been wanting to dive back into a FromSoft game for a while, and this is great. This is the next entry. And talking about the Bandai Namco conference, it didn't show anything but an interview. I'm not kidding. That's all they showed was an interview for, what is it? The Dark Pictures anthology, like the David Cage stuff, I believe. Like, I know they had an interview with Hidetaki Miyazaki or whatever, Hidetaki, whatever, Miyazaki, but that was pretty much the extension of it. They didn't. I was maybe hoping for, some announcements about Bloodborne, maybe like a PC port, or maybe Bloodborne getting a PS5 upgrade. I was seeing if they had any other Bandai Namco games in the works, because Scarlet Nexus is their biggest game coming out this month, which is like a Souls-like game. And then whatever else Bandai Namco has up their sleeve. But no, it was really just Elden Ring. So, yeah. Nothing, no fighting games showing off, no Dragon Ball Z, no Dragon Ball Fighters, or nothing. Just Elden Ring. And I mean, it made its presence well known, but it's not Bandai Namco's presence well known. It's From Software and Elden Ring's presence, okay? So Bandai Namco really had no should have no part in having a conference at all. It just made no sense, along with Capcom and Take-Two. They did not need to be there at all. And like I said, we'll go down the list here. So what did you guys think of Elden Ring? I give Elden Ring 2 thumbs in my ass way up. I was quite pleased. So, like I said, I'm hoping Elden Ring in the final months to come, it doesn't go on the cutting floor too hard, because FromSoft and Bandai Namco really like cutting stuff out or swapping all things around, which, so it's a bummer. Can't comment. Bandai Namco not wanting free game promo, pretty much. Yeah. So, yeah, you can, you know what? I'll do this real quick. In case anybody wants to see this, I will post this in both chats here. Both chats. There we go. In case you want to see this source, it's right there. Anybody listening on Spotify, you'll just have to click the YouTube video if you find this, and just go from there. All right, so I'll read this. The highly anticipated Elden Ring got its first gameplay trailers during Summer Game Fest alongside a release date, January 21st, 2022. The Hidetaki Miyazaki, George R. R. Martin collaboration will feature From Software's largest, most free-form map to date, which is great. So here, talking about reading IGN's big Miyazaki interview for much more on Elden Ring. And then just to add a little bit further, apparently the world building and George R. R. Martin, if you don't know who he is, he's the guy who did the Game of Thrones of Song of Fire and Ice books, worked on the Game of Thrones TV series. Anyway, he said the story or the world building for Elden Ring was done years ago, and they just apparently go to him every now and then to review like monster designs or like see like, hey, what do you think about this type deal, like a second opinion. So I thought that was pretty neat. I thought that was pretty cool. And then George R. R. Martin's like, yes, it's a sequel. He confirmed it's a sequel to Dark Souls 3 or to Dark Souls. I'm like, okay, well, I mean, I guess that kind of makes sense anyway. Lots of, that's the spiritual successor inspirations to Berserk, because there's a lot in Elden Ring. Miyazaki keeps Berserk references going alive, which is great. There's a lot of, especially in the trailer, you see a lot of Berserk references, like the tree, the wolf man, the wolf beast with the sword, the big old sword, and so on and so forth. There's just a lot of imagery, so it's great. It was a great trailer. Anyway, let's move on to this next one that I still don't really give two shits about. It's Starfield. I do like that artwork, though. The artwork looks pretty neat. I don't know, it looks good. As long as it pops up on PC, I'm not going to complain. Elden Ring is coming out the same time on PC along with consoles, so it's pretty good. Now, Starfield, Xbox PC exclusivity confirmed, release date announced. Everybody's making such a big deal about the exclusive thing. I don't know, and I don't give a fuck. I really don't care, because I have an Xbox, because I have a PC. For anybody who just has a PlayStation and that's it, or a Switch, let's just add that in the mix. You don't have a PC and you don't have an Xbox and you can't play Starfield, well, you have plenty of time to build yourself a PC that can handle this game, or you can get an Xbox or something. You got plenty of time. You got about a year and a half left. So let's not shit the bed already. And also, guys, let me just say something. Look, I understand things being exclusive to be exclusive because, hey, we paid all this money to own this company. We want to sell these consoles. We want to make good sales on it. Blah blah. Whatever capitalist thing you want to say, corporate thing. Now, here's the thing. Microsoft gets Microsoft, Xbox, PC, whatever. They get one exclusive that's not on Sony. And what does Sony fanboys complain about? The fact that it's not on the PlayStation. But how many exclusives does Nintendo and Sony have compared to Microsoft? Microsoft is hurting for exclusives to help sell their console. Halo Infinite isn't going to do it alone. Unfortunately, it would not do it for me. That's why I don't own one, because all the games that come out on Xbox, for me, they're coming out on PlayStation, they're coming out on PC, shit, even the Switch at times. Now, what is PS4? What does PlayStation have? They have The Last of Us. They have Days Gone. Now I understand some of these made to PC ports, but a year or a couple later, they have Horizon Zero Dawn. They have Death Stranding. They have Ratchet and Clank. They have Spider-Man. They have Bloodborne. Fucking Bloodborne. I'm gonna say it again. Fucking Bloodborne. PlayStation owners have fucking Bloodborne. Okay, you have a masterpiece. You have God of War. I mean, the list goes fucking on. You have what you call it? You have Little Big Planet. I mean, Jesus Christ. You spoiled rotten bastards. Like, calm down. Like, fucking calm down. It's okay. Like I said, you have a year and a half to, I don't know, stop freaking out and move on with your life because a game doesn't come to your console. I mean, this is how it used to be, folks. Unfortunately, Nintendo got, back then when it was Nintendo versus Sega, Nintendo got certain games, and then Sega got certain games. You wouldn't dream, you would dare to dream seeing Sonic the Hedgehog on a Super Nintendo console. Dare to dream. That was never going to fucking happen. Same thing with Mario games or Zelda games going on Sega. It was not happening. Or Virtua Fighter going on Super... You know, it's just... It's just sometimes this stuff happens, but you know the rivalry continues for certain companies, or it's just how it goes. I mean, imagine how I feel when these games, some of these games that are released on PC are Epic Game exclusives for a whole year. That hurts me every time because the Epic Store is trash, and I can't, and they don't even have achievements yet. And it's just horrible, like user friendly. It's just not very user friendly, and also it's not. There's no quality of life stuff, especially when you're trying to like I don't know, look at details of your game, like look for the folder where it's at and all that stuff. Yeah, it's not fun to do. Looking where the source files are. It's terrible. Anyway, Starfield, honest opinion about this, they did not sell me after 2 to 3 years of not showing literally anything, just another teaser trailer. Shows like some people walking around in a spaceship. That's it. No gameplay or nothing. This game's supposed to release a year and like a few months from now. So hopefully as we get closer to the end of the year, maybe we'll see an actual gameplay. I'm really hoping they don't show any gameplay next summer as the next E3, where that's the first time they ever show gameplay. But people will just buy it anyway because they're fucking cattle and sheep. It'll become top sellers on Steam. You know, you guys need to look at the fine details here, okay? You can't trust companies that aren't transparent. Honestly, I know I said good things about Elden Ring, but I wouldn't even trust Elden Ring entirely because of the lack of transparency that we got for the past 2 years for a game like that. You got to be careful when it comes to this stuff. There's a very good reason why Halo Infinite, there was no transparency for like showing any gameplay for 2 years or a year or whatever. And then the gameplay comes out, talking about last year's E3, and it flopped. It fell on its head, delayed the game, had to recruit top Halo developers from days past, and all this crap. Back to the drawing board. Yeah. And we definitely don't want another Cyberpunk issue. Yeah, that's bad. So, see, I'm telling you, you dive into this. So, Bethesda, I mean, they didn't show anything Elder Scrolls related. Unfortunately, they showed some Fallout DLC, Fallout 76 DLC, who gives a fuck. Starfield was like the only thing worth mentioning. I'm trying to think if they showed anything Doom related. I don't believe they did. I don't believe. They showed some Elder Scrolls Online stuff, I think. Yeah, who cares? Now, let's move on. We're going to the Nintendo side of things. So Zelda Breath of the Wild 2, another game that was under wraps. Only had one teaser trailer for the past 2 years, 2.5, whatever. And then we finally see something. At least this actually shows gameplay and some more story elements and stuff to give you an actual idea of what the fuck's going on in this game, unlike Starfield or Halo Infinite's campaign. Not really too much going on there, unfortunately. But hey, at least Halo Infinite actually showed gameplay last year. Even though it didn't pan out in their favor, didn't go out in their favor, whatever. So Breath of the Wild 2, finally 35th anniversary for the Zelda franchise. Happy birthday, Zelda! Many years to celebrate. Lots of Zelda stuff coming out this year, like a Game & Watch Zelda 1 thing, Skyward Sword HD. You got Breath of the Wild 2 finally showing a gameplay trailer, and I guess there's going to be some remasters supposedly going to be announced for Twilight Princess and Wind Waker, which a lot of people are waiting on. But Breath of the Wild 2, looks exactly the same as Breath of the Wild 1. Now you're just able to go from the ground and the sky. There's land masses in the sky now. So you got 2 different biomes now. Land and sky. Next, Breath of the Wild 3, it'll be all underwater. Which that'd be pretty fucking cool. But yeah, anyway. And it just says it's coming out next year, so nothing really too much. But like I said, if you play Breath of the Wild 1, it's gonna look all too familiar. Same looking graphics, just maybe some improvements in some of the gameplay mechanics, maybe some things they got rid of or added, just made it more robust. But I like how you can go in the sky now, which is pretty cool. And of course, everybody's just freaking going apeshit with theories and stuff. It's like another Elden Ring from Software Sweat theory thing going on. It's just kind of a theory nightmare as of late. But finally we get to see some gameplay. So Nintendo closed out which I like Nintendo's Direct. I really appreciated it. I think, honestly, my opinion, Microsoft and Nintendo had the best ones, but I think Nintendo took the crown. My personal opinion. I would definitely recommend looking at those 2 conferences because they're better than the other ones by a lot. Nintendo closed out its E3 Direct with a new gameplay trailer for The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild 2 that revealed a 2022 release window. The trailer shows Link navigating the skies of Hyrule, which will be explorable in the sequel, according to Nintendo. So yeah, it's going more like Castle in the Sky Studio Ghibli format now. A lot of people compare Breath of the Wild because a lot of inspiration of it was Studio Ghibli. Related like environments or world building or foundational stuff, especially like the way the architect looks with these certain like sentries or sentient beings or whatever robots. They give you that Castle in the Sky Studio Ghibli vibe, or just especially with the aesthetic approach too. It's pretty great, and the music. Ooh. So. Look forward to more stuff on that. Like I said, we're still waiting for more Zelda news like Twilight Princess HD and Wind Waker HD. Yeah, it's only an hour. It's a minute and 40, so that's not too short. That's actually a pretty good length, honestly. Like I said, it showed more than Starfield. All right, moving on. So Square Enix's conference wasn't the worst. I would say it's mediocre. This was actually a surprise. At first, I was like, seriously, another Marvel game that Square Enix is publishing? Because the disaster of Avengers 2020 last year. I'm like, have you guys not learned your fucking lesson? Now you're going to work on another Marvel game and ruin it? I was like, oh shit, man. But I actually thought this looked way better than the Avengers game. But maybe because they showed the trailers properly, unlike the Avengers with their marketing. The Avengers games, when those were announced, they did not bode well with people, and it didn't look that appetizing and just not very enticing for people, honestly. That's their whole Avengers marketing campaign from Square Enix and Crystal Dynamics or Eidos, whatever company that was actually developing it. It just did not work well with people. And when a game launched, it was a disaster. It got mediocre to piss poor reviews and just lack of content, no depth, half-baked, pretty much. It was just terrible. So when you go from that to this a year later, it's like, you guys are still licking your wounds with the Avengers. Now you're going to pay a different company to make a Guardians of the Galaxy game? But when I saw the trailer and everything, I'm like, okay, this actually looks pretty decent. I actually like this. Pretty cool. So let's go. The rundown. The rumored Guardians of the Galaxy game was finally revealed during the Square Enix E3 showcase with an October 26th release date, my birthday month. The single-player action-adventure features all the Guardians from the MCU: Gamora, Rocket Raccoon, Groot, and Drax. Though you'll play exclusively as Star-Lord, like the movies, the Guardians game will feature classic music from the 80s, including songs by Iron Maiden, Rick Astley, Kiss, and Wham! So, there you go. Iron Maiden, good start. Ghost of the Navigator, that better be on there. It's my favorite Iron Maiden song. Action adventure. It's gonna kind of follows like the same kind of third-person perspective like the Avengers game. What I did like about it is that it looked graphically well done so far. I like the Guardians of the Galaxy ensemble cast. They're not so black and white. They're good guys only. They seem pretty neutral the entire time. That's why I like them. Also, you're like roaming around in your spaceship and doing space missions and stuff. I always like sci-fi games like that. And I like the fact that you can pick different choices in the game. Like depending on what's going on, you decide the fate for certain that are about to take place, or or characters you want to bring, or actions you want to do. I thought that was cool. And the gameplay, hopefully it's serviceable enough. You could tell. I understand they were just short for time. They were cutting through some of the gameplay when you were actual fighting. But I kind of wanted to see the whole fight scene. It looked kind of boring playing as Star-Lord, because he's just pew pew pew, and sometimes he does some melee attacks. But I was more interested in the other characters that actually do more melee and cooler moves. I don't know. But I'm just sidestepping here. I think the way they tie in like the mechanics of your party members helping you out, doing some damage, it might get a little overwhelming on the amount of stuff you can do. But they could have just unlocked all the abilities, because it's display purposes, demonstration purposes. So anyway, yeah, it looked great. Like the cutscenes and all that, like the choreographing, the graphics, the game. Like I said, the gameplay looked serviceable enough. So we'll see how it goes. But expect this game to be dirt cheap a couple months later. So be on the lookout, because superhero games go cheap in no time. So that, like I said, that was a big announcement for me. Was to see Square Enix really just double downing on this fucking Marvel enterprise and just not learning their lessons. So we'll see. And the Square Enix showcase was okay at best. They announced another Final Fantasy game. Final Fantasy, I don't remember what it was called, but it's like a Final Fantasy Origins game. It's their Dark Souls Final Fantasy Souls-like game. So interesting enough, but the trailer was so cringy because the dialogue was just absolutely terrible, and the characters looked pretty boring. Didn't show anything for Final Fantasy 16, unfortunately. Didn't show anything for Final Fantasy 7 Remake Part 2 or a possible PC port. Nothing like that in the mix, unfortunately. Good job, Square. Fuck you. They didn't show anything Tomb Raider or Just Cause related or Deus Ex, because they'll show published games of like stuff like that. And then one thing that kind of enticed me, they didn't show anything Dragon Quest 3 HD remake, 2D remake, which I was hoping for. I'm excited for that. The only thing that really I enjoyed most, besides Guardians of the Galaxy thing, was the Final Fantasy 1 through 6 Pixel Remaster. The only bottom line is, and I shit you not, that it's only coming out for PC and mobile devices.
Uh-oh, retard alert! Retard alert, class!
PC and mobile only? That's like when they released Chrono Trigger and all the other Final Fantasy ports that they ported from mobile, they put it on Steam. They never brought it to consoles. What the fuck is going on with Square Enix lately with re-releasing these classic great games not on consoles? What in the absolute fuck are they? What are they thinking? What? Doesn't make any sense. Oh, it was so weird. And then looking on Twitter, people posting about it's like, what? You don't post this on consoles? Bitch, did you not realize? Do you not know your roots? This shit came out on consoles first. People want to play these old classics on consoles too. I don't understand the audacity of that, man. That's fucked up right there. That's all I'm gonna say. That's some jacked up shit. So here we go. This next one. This was another big surprise, which I don't understand. You know what? Ubisoft, if you're gonna do a brand new IP or start making a new open world, can you stop making Far Cry games? Can you stop making Assassin's Creed? All their games are open world now, especially Assassin's Creed. It used to be more on the semi-open world approach, not as big as like Odyssey or Valhalla and Origins. Far Cry was always open world, so I understand it keeping the same premise, but like just no more of these games. Can these developers just come up with anything creative? And it's like, here we go, Avatar. The Ubisoft E3 showcase ended with our first look at Massive Entertainment's Avatar game. Which, by the way, Massive Entertainment is also making a Star Wars loot game like Division, which is going to be kind of weird, but kind of hopefully cool. Avatar Frontiers of Pandora is a first-person open-world action-adventure game set in a never-before-seen part of Pandora. Oh, I wonder why, because we got James Cameron's Avatar in, I don't know, 2008, 2009 or some shit. Yeah, of course, never-before-seen stuff, sure. By now, there should have been like 3 fucking sequels already, but he's so slow with that shit. It's whatever. I don't care. But kind of weird approach to go with a movie licensed game. I mean, it didn't look bad, but it didn't look too interesting because I'm like, really? You're going to go this route? You know, it's kind of a risky biscuit thing. And I'm like, you guys are going to put your Ubisoft repetitive crap cycle of whatever you do for Far Cry and Assassin's Creed for an Avatar game? One thing's for sure, Ubisoft does do a good job to entice you on gameplay trailers. Like Far Cry 6 looked really great, but I know deep down it's going to be the same repetitive fucking shit they've done in all the other Far Cry games. They just don't have any more ideas. I mean, it's nothing too out of the ordinary. I mean, at least with Assassin's Creed, they're like, well, we've made so many stealth Assassin's Creed games. Let's start doing open world Assassin's Creed games because it was good for The Witcher. The Witcher 3 pulled it off. Why can't we pull it off? You can try. Hopefully after Valhalla, that's the last open world Assassin's Creed. I'm going to let you guys know, Ubisoft is doing a survey for Assassin's Creed games on where to go next and how to help them make the next best game or making... It's, oh, hold on, we got a phone. Pause. These scam callers, they just don't know what to do. I gotta put the phone on silent. Sorry about that, folks. They just don't know when to let up. So, yeah, Ubisoft's conference was bottom tier. They didn't announce anything for Splinter Cell, unfortunately, which was very disappointing. They showed a Rainbow Six story trailer. And I'm like, why is Rainbow Six Siege? Except they're going like single player content now, or I don't even know. It's like single player co-op stuff. It's just why are you guys doing that? Just let your game Siege just why? Just focus on something else. Also they didn't show anything for Beyond Good and Evil 2. I don't think that game's ever going to come out, so people should move on from that, just like me. Well, I was never a Beyond Good and Evil fan to begin with, but a lot of people are for some reason. I'm like, they made one game, and I guess ever since they saw the sequel trailer, they're like, whoa, yes, I'm a huge Beyond Good and Evil 2 fan. Yeah, that was 2 years ago, 2 or 3 years ago, and yeah, nothing to show for at Ubisoft's conference. You gotta love it. But they did show a new Mario Rabbids game for Nintendo. Good. Anyway, blue people or not, you decide. Now, Splinter Cell has just gone in the shadows. Yeah, pretty much. So, Super Smash Bros. Character. I always get excited for this. Anytime Nintendo is doing like a special presentation, like a Nintendo Direct, like a big one, like E3 for example, that's great. I always enjoy that. So, the next Smash Bros. Character, a lot of people will never know. And you know what? Anybody who makes a list on guessing who the next Smash Bros. Character, you shouldn't even do it because anytime they release somebody, I never expect this shit. Someone from Tekken, Kazuha. God damn it. Kazuha. Oh, they spelled the name wrong. Kazuha. They spelled Kazuha here in the trailer thing. Okay, so it was revealed that the penultimate DLC? What the fuck? Penultimate DLC character for Smash. More Into the Fire will be revealed on June 28th, according to game director Masahiro Sakurai. So it's like, okay, cool. A Tekken fighter. Sounds great to me. Another pugilist fisticuff person. I'm okay with that. It's not a Japanese swords fighter, thank God. I'm glad it's not Sora. Anytime it's not Sora, it's a victory for me. Because Sora would be pretty lame in Smash Brothers, and I don't think Square Enix... They're like, no. Square Enix already gave you Cloud and Sephiroth. So I don't know if they're going to give you Sora ass. But I thought that was cool. Like I said, Nintendo, to me, they always have the most exclusives. I posted a picture on my Discord showing all the games releasing for Nintendo, and there's more than 10 exclusives coming out this year. I'm like, it was fucking ridiculous how many. Not saying I'm going to buy them all or play them all, but it's just insane that they have the most out of all the companies. Sony's second, Microsoft dead last easily. But yeah, this is pretty nice. So, can't wait to play this fighter. All right, let's get to where are we? What are we at for time? Okay, 47 minutes. Told you this goes by pretty quick. I'm gonna do my best in the next 13 minutes here, because these episodes like to go for an hour. If anybody's finding this episode, NikoTheLegend, subscribe to the NikoTheLegend channel. Appreciate it, and comment on whatever you want in the YouTube stream once this is done. Okay, Halo Infinite. The biggest disappointment for me ever. Look, here's the thing. I really do enjoy Halo multiplayer. It's always been a thing I grew up with. I've been playing Halo since Halo 1 came out for the original Xbox. And multiplayer was always a big part of enjoying the game, but it was campaign as well. I did enjoy playing Halo campaign a lot. And I can't tell how many times I've beaten those campaigns before, solo or with friends, or just whatever, right? So Halo always offered me a lot of replay value, especially with multiplayer and campaign stuff, because they were just that fun to do both, right? At least for me, it was that much fun. So, as I mentioned before, last year Halo Infinite finally showed some gameplay of the single player, and it didn't bode so well for them. The gameplay itself was fine. It was the graphics that people had a problem with. Everything else was good. I thought it looked interesting to play. A lot of neat mechanics introduced. Open world Halo, what could go wrong, right? It was just the graphics that needed a tune-up. And I was hoping to see a more polished version of last year's demonstration for this E3. So, like I said, they just showed some single-player cutscenes, which they looked really nice, more polished. They looked to be in-game, but they didn't show any actual single-player gameplay. They saved all their gameplay stuff for multiplayer. And it just doesn't make any sense, because Halo multiplayer is free. So why are you going to convince us so hard to play your multiplayer game? Well, they're going to do battle passes and microtransaction bullshit. That's, free to play or pay to win type deal, or, not free to play. But it's like, okay, you're selling us on something that's free. Okay, whatever. But people are probably going to play it whether you sell it or not. What about selling the core premise behind Halo Infinite? The reason why you guys had to delay the game for a whole another year and a half, or for a whole another year. You had to go back to square one pretty much and hire veteran Halo developers to work on your game so it doesn't fuck up. Where's the selling point for your single player stuff to make me want to care about this game really at all? Because now you separated the fan base. Now you're doing two separate entities. You got the free multiplayer, and then you got the campaign. You can play. You don't have to have both to play. Multiplayer, you don't have to have campaign or pay for campaign or the whole package to play multiplayer. Now you can just do that separately. So, yeah, that's a problem to me. Splitting it down the middle like that, I don't like that. Why not just give us more bang for our buck and just the multiplayer is there along with the single player campaign? I don't know. It's just, look, I understand a lot of people don't even care for Halo's campaign anymore, probably for the longest time, because the past two, Halo 4's campaign was serviceable and Halo 5's was trash. But I'm hoping the multiplayer for Halo Infinite is good, and it looked pretty. Admittedly, it did look pretty fun. It looked pretty hectic. I know it's going to be a try hard of a time because all shooter games are like that. But bottom line is, I don't care for the multiplayer this time around to see the selling point. I just wanted to see single player gameplay, and we did not see that. They went so far with the multiplayer that they even did a 30-minute stream showing multiplayer. A breakdown or whatever, an extended thing. I'm like, just kill me. So we all know where 343 Industries' loyalties lie. So this is unfortunate. Halo Infinite has just been a marketing disaster. Show us a couple teaser trailers in the beginning. A year or two later, nothing, no transparency or nothing. Then we get some lackluster gameplay footage of the campaign for the first time. People hated that. And then a year later, after all that polishing, you don't show anything for it of what improvements you made, and you just show us multiplayer. It's just back and forth nonsensical crap. But Halo Infinite is supposedly scheduled to 2021 release window of the holidays. They don't even have a release date yet for this game. What is going on at 343 to where they can't get their shit together? I don't understand it. It's been 6 years. Come on now. Like what the flying shit? Okay. Where are we at? Okay. 7 more minutes. So Mario Rabbids sequel. This was one of another surprise announcements at the Ubisoft conference, which I actually like this game. I have the first one. It's a it's a tactical RPG set in the Mario universe, and it's actually pretty good. It's pretty fun. I haven't played it in a while, but it was one of those weird Ubisoft Nintendo collaborations. They did it with Starlink, which was an Ubisoft game. They had Star Fox crossover, which is pretty good. Starlink is actually pretty fun too. When I played it, unfortunately, I only played it once. I only really bought it to get the R-Wing with the Star Fox R-Wing with Fox McCloud in it. That was like a collector thing, and the game was actually the supplement or the bonus. But it was $20, you know, back in the day when I got it. I went cheap real quick. So we get another Mario Rabbids sequel, which is coming out next year. Another exclusive for Nintendo. Boom. And like I said, if you have a Switch, you like tactical RPGs, you like Mario, you like Ubisoft, check this out. Pretty cool. That was like one of the 2 announcements that was exciting. That was interesting. It was the Avatar game for Ubisoft, and then the Mario Rabbids thing. I know it's the bar is set so high these days. All right, now everybody's talking about this because of, well, you can already see by the picture. It's exactly Dishonored, or they're doing a vampire shooter. Like that's where they're going. Arcane Studios is working on a vampire shooter multiplayer game. Oh, no. I liked Arcane Studios when they made single player games only, like Dark Messiah and Prey and Dishonored. Now you're gonna do multiplayer games? Anyway, Arcane Studios showed off its open world vampire shooter Redfall, featuring support for up to 4 players co-op. Redfall pits you and your friends against powerful, ever-evolving vampires. It'll be exclusive to Xbox Series X and PC, and it's due out in summer 2022. And they showed a pretty long trailer. It's like close to 5 minutes, and I just wasn't sold on this. I mean, vampire games are getting a comeback though. Getting a comeback, but I don't know. I just know Arcane Studios to being a single-player only company, but now they're going the multiplayer route. I'm hoping maybe there is a single-player campaign and it's serviceable, but yeah, you won't see me buying this on day one. But hey, you know, at least it's a new game, a new IP. It's not like Dishonored 5 or Prey 3, you know, like anything like that, like Ubisoft likes to do with Far Cry and Assassin's Creed games, where they can't move on. They got to keep cash grabbing. At least Dishonored has the balls to shift to a completely different approach, whether I like it or not. That's just whatever, you know. Got to move on. Okay, Borderlands spin-off Tiny Tina's Wonderlands announced. Oh, right. Gearbox had a conference. I completely forgot. That's how impactful it was. Yeah, not so fun. So I'll read this last one. Tiny Tina's Wonderlands is a Borderlands spin-off set in an unpredictable fantasy world set after the Borderlands 2 DLC Assault on Dragon Keep. Wonderlands is a 4-player co-op game with a world that constantly changes to fit the bunkers and badasses. Narrative spun by Tina. Ashley Birch returns to voice the fan favorite. She also does the voice for Aloy in Horizon Zero Dawn. Alongside an all-star supporting cast, it includes Will Arnett, Andy Samberg, and Wanda Sykes. Oh, yeah, all-star supporting, right? Andy Samberg, what an all-star, right? Oh, fuck you, IGN. Okay, so that's what we've gone through so far. We have, so I'll just skim through this list real quick. Forza Horizon 5, Outer Worlds 2, Rainbow Six Extraction, Sea of Thieves, it's getting pirate stuff, Contraband, Flight Sim console release date, Top Gun expansion, so that's Microsoft Flight Simulator. Game of the Year Hades coming to Xbox, PlayStation, Xbox Game Pass, who cares? Far Cry 6, DLC lets you play as infamous villains. Babylon's Fall, PS5 version announced, new gameplay show off. What is this? Live action, live service action game, don't care then. Diablo 2 Resurrected, showing console stuff, optimization. Riders Republic, interesting Ubisoft thing, don't care too much. And then last but not least, Rocksmith Plus subscription service. Yay, you get it. Now they're monopolizing on you learning how to play guitar. Hey guys, I got something. Buy a cheap guitar and just look at YouTube videos. That way you don't have to pay for it. I did a stream on that of the Ubisoft conference, and I was just, the entire time I was like, who is even understanding any of this right now, unless you're a musician, okay? They were showing off so many features that would throw you off right off the bat if you don't know anything musically, or if you're not musically inclined or don't know anything. Like, all the different features, using all this music language and stuff, and it's not stuff that you would know off the tip of your tongue, at the top of your head, and showing all the, like I said, just all this overwhelming, over-sensory shit, and then they finish it off with a subscription, and it's like, sure, fuck you. No, I'll just be resourceful myself, buy a cheap guitar or a cheap drums, whatever instrument, and then just either, I don't know, learn on my own, or look at YouTube videos for free, or download free music programs probably, and not pay you guys. What the fuck? Anyway, that's what I do with piano. I look up YouTube videos of me learning different songs and stuff for free. I paid $50 for my mini Casio keyboard and everything else going on YouTube and stuff didn't cost me a dime. Just kidding, tax money probably. So that was the quick recap of the biggest announcements, guys, and I say that very lightly because a lot of these are probably things you guys don't give a shit about, which is perfectly fine. This is IGN's stupid list. So I just need some kind of source here to go off, and I kind of bounce off of it like a pinball in a pinball machine. So bottom line is, guys, honestly, this was the worst E3 I've ever seen. To me, honestly, Microsoft and Nintendo had the only decent ones, and decent is saying a lot. But Nintendo, for me, took the cake. The shittiest conference was either Bandai Namco or Take-Two, because Take-Two Interactive just had all political commentary about equality rights and stuff. They didn't even show anything gaming related. I'm not kidding. They were doing they were talking about equality rights, publishing company for games at a gaming conference, expo. They didn't show any games. They were just talking about rights and stuff. What the fuck? And I closed out of it after about 15 minutes. I kept it on silent the whole time. Like, are they going to show any games? Any games? Nope. Okay, bye. Yeah, imagine the like-to-dislike ratio on that shit. So, but anyway, yeah, not a very good year for E3. It's been pretty piss poor for the past few years. It's been lackluster. And here's the thing, no Sony conference too. So Sony is pretty much pieces of shit when it comes to that. They just, some cocky attitude right there, and they really are getting stingy with that money and not wanting to show anybody off their new games that are coming out. Now they just show one exclusive at a time, and it sells like hotcakes. That's just how it goes sometimes. So let me know down in the comments below, people, on some of the E3 comments that you have, or impressions or reactions and stuff. There was a lot of games they showed, a lot of conferences happened, and a lot of them that shouldn't have happened. And there was plenty of stuff I didn't dive into, and like I said, we can go on for a very long time talking about this. But I only like to go for an hour on this, and that's the name of the game here, okay? But hey guys, I've been your host, NikoTheLegend. It's been a pleasure talking about the E3 Massacre. And reminder, Massacre, because the conferences didn't show anything too interesting to me, and a lot of the conferences should have shown the things that they were announced 3 years ago, 2 years ago, and they didn't. so on and so forth. There's many things to poke holes in. Like I said, Nintendo takes the crown. So if you like what you saw, feel free to subscribe to the NikoTheLegend channel. Follow me on Twitch. Check me out on Discord, Twitter, and this will be posted on Spotify the following day. So thank you guys very much. I have been your host, NikoTheLegend, well-mannered teenager, the snowflake, rambling idiot, and Vigil. I hope to see you guys again. You take care, fellow people. Fellow people. Don't fret, I'll be back to give you more of Niko. Why can't it be so to call me by my name? Please, friends, sing my song, for I need all of your help. I see so much greatness, you guys are all heroes. You are not alone, we share strength together. I am the frog legend that will save the day. My hat will still lie on top because it is cool. A wild frog appears, the challenger has arrived. Don't go, I need you, my friends. I need you more than